Hello everyone, it's Sergeant Miles here again. Uh, Today I started building one of my raised garden beds, and I've seen a few different people there's a whole bunch of different techniques out there. I thought I'd share mine with you. I'll go ahead and show you. I got one side finished already. So this is the frame for it. That 2x6 actually goes up on the top, and there's Panzer. These are what I use for the sides. These are just kind of standard metal roofing type stuff. And this is a 4x4 that I got, and a couple 2x4s, and one 2x6 or 2x8, whichever you prefer. I like to do it like this because you'll see at the end that 2x6 goes up on top, gives you a place to set your tools, kind of sit on, and it's supported while you're out working in the garden and such. I think each one of these 2x4s, these are treated. All this wood is treated because I live in Florida, and well, if it ain't treated, it's gonna rot real quick. Even with paint, it tends to go pretty quickly with all the moisture and heat. So and bugs. So the pressure treat or the treated wood keeps all the bugs away, which helps to keep bugs out of the raised garden beds, as I've noticed. And I built it in a way because you don't want those chemicals getting down into your food or into the soil and contaminating your food or any of that sort of stuff. So I built these in such a way that it keeps pretty much the metal up against all your soil and keeps all the chemicals that are in that wood out. But now each one of these sections of roof in here are, get this down here. I could figure out how to work a tape today. There we go. I'll show you. Each one of these sections are, you can see right there, 25 and give or take 3/4. So that means each one of these posts that we're gonna chop up, you got to take, because the wood is 1.5 inches thick, you got to take 1.5 inches off of that. So off of 25 3/4, you're gonna want to drop that down to 24 1/4. So we'll cut off 2 of these sections because you need 2 for each side at 24 1/4, and I will show that to you here in a second. All right, so we're going to come in and make a mark here at 24 1/4. I like to make 2 marks just to make sure that I got it spot on. I get everything lined up just right. Now it doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously, you know, it's going to be a raised garden bed, so if it's a little off, or if it ain't quite perfectly square, no one's going to get mad at it except for you. It's yours. And for me, as long as it holds the soil in, I'm happy. All right, so we'll go ahead and that's one of the posts. Yeah, it'll be all right. And 1/4 again. lined up, make sure it's as square as you want it. There we go. All right, so now we got the two posts, and we will go ahead and set the, sorry, didn't mean to put you up my nose. We'll go ahead and set the 2x6 now. So, let me see where I can set you to show you how this is done nice and easy. Like I said, these 2x6s are treated, and it makes it real nice when you got to come through. I like to set it up on something to kind of square them up a little bit. You can see right there, that's a little low. So let's see if we can find something else to set under there. Now we overshot it. Those bills are cottontails. It'll be alright. All we need to do is get one set. I don't know why that side's not. I guess my garage floor is not level. Alright, I brought you over here that way you could see how I fashion these together. It's really nothing special, just kind of have them get in where they fit in, you know? And what I like to do is get one screw in. I like to. Apparently, they don't like going in for me today. There we go. Get all three of them started. Then get it lined up nice and pretty like. And now normally I've been using treated fence posts on these. So when I do that, it works out a little bit differently because on the treated fence posts, they're rounded, and it just takes a little bit more of a cut, and the boards tend to spin a little bit more to make sure that everything's kind of square and all that. So I get that first one in and it tacks it into place. After that's in, then we can go ahead and finish up the rest of these. Bam, we got one post on. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how the other side looks when you use the fence post. As you can see, you kind of have to cut a little bit of an angle when you're putting these little cross boards on. And I found that the the best way to do is one in the middle, and then you have the 2x6 that runs up across the top, and that tends to make it give you 3 little points to support it. So as the soil starts filling in and starts getting a little bit more pressure on the sides, because I've been filling mine with I forgot the proper way to say it, but it's like hugelkultur. I got a couple down trees around the property. I'll make a video on that later. But as that stuff kind of rots and decays and all the wood breaks down and all that sort of stuff, it gets a lot more heavier. It's going to push a lot more out on the side, so to keep from bowing, having those 3 points across it, especially over such a small area like 2 feet, is definitely going to keep it from blowing out the sides or having your soil fall all over the place and start getting a lot of water in there. That stuff tends to weigh quite a bit, because these are, well, I think the final end size on it is going to be 8 foot by 41 inches. So that's quite a bit of soil weight to put across everything. Same thing up here. Get these ones started up. So now we've got the posts and the top part, or what will be the top part of the rail of our raised door. Now we're going to measure from the inside of this one to the inside of that one and cut those 2x4s down to the correct size. Tape measure out there. And you kind of know what it should be. You can do a little bit of math, you can figure it out. But sometimes it's a little bit different when we're working with the fence posts. They're not exactly all cut perfectly round or to the same sort of dimensions. So let me turn this that way you can get a better look. So we'll go from the inside over there, the top of this one, that's 90 inches. Yep. 90 inches. And since we've got just about 26 inches, I like to come in here and mark 13, because that's pretty much the center. Give or take a little bit. And that's where the middle board is going to go. And I'll be back with those boards cut and show you how I melt them. Alright, so I got those cut. You can go ahead and get this stuff mounted in there. I'm using 3-inch screws for this, just because I want to make sure that it gets a good bite in. Honestly, all you really need is something that's probably going to be an inch or so, get an inch or so in there to make sure that it's in that spot nice and easy. There we go, like a glove. Like a glove. Do at least 2 screws on each side to make sure that it doesn't twist or wobble or bend. Same thing, it's always a good idea to get your screw started a little bit ahead of time. Kind of missed a little bit, I'm going to pull it out there. Get a better angle on it. And same thing with the other one, I like to get one side started, and then come over here, make sure I got it squared up. Nice and easy way. And there we go. Now we're going to go ahead and put the bottom piece on, and we'll put the first little bit of siding on there. prettiest damn thing in the world, but it'll do. Now, a lot of times, these things tend to come with oil and such that's on, and obviously you don't want that getting down into your food either. So it's always a good idea to wash them off a little bit. They put that oil on as a little bit of a protectant, keep everything, keep them from corroding and that sort of stuff. And they have a treating that on them that's going to keep it from corroding as well. But it also kind of makes it a little bit easier for them to be handled and that sort of stuff. So obviously you want to clean that off. There we go. So next, we're going to mount that up to the side there. And for this, I like to just use some metal roofing screws that hold up real well. And they're easy to use. Typically, I'll go 4 along the side, and then on the top and bottom, 1 about every foot, and then through the center about 1 every about 2 foot. Sometimes I just do 1 about a foot all the way across. A little bit more that way you can see better. Now for me, I like to have it just a touch under the top of this, so that way when I go out there, I made one and I left this hang over a little bit, and it tore my pants and all sorts of different stuff. So I like to leave it down just a little bit. After you get the first one in, get it all situated as to where you want it. That way, you're not fighting it later and having to re-drill and re-screw and all that sort of stuff. And I like to put the other side out because it's flat on this side, so it makes it easier to. I think it's less likely to bow and get kind of wonky as it's going. And then I'm just going to screw down the middle and the top and the side and finish it off. And then we'll put the piece on the other side and I'll show you how to do the ends. I'm just going to repeat on the other side, and I'll bring you guys back after I have it done and get ready for the next part. So now we're going to make the ends of the toilet. And these are 8 foot long, so we're going to cut it at 4 foot. I worked for my dad for a little while, and he's an old school contractor. And you know that saying of measure twice, cut once? He says, well, if you measure twice and you cut once, you're probably going to screw it up. So measure as many times as you need before you mess it, and as many times as you need to keep from screwing it in. I think he was tired of paying for all my screw ups on the job site. Right? Probably going to want to wear gloves while you're doing this, but for some reason I never do the smart thing. And my hands always get torn up because of it. So now we got these cut. I'll show you how we put it all together. Over here. Now that's the end of the one that I was using that had the fence posts. And this is one that has the regular 4x4s. You want to set it so that way the metal is facing to the inside. That way, any of the chemicals that are on the pressure treat or any of that sort of stuff won't be leaking. So kind of the same idea as the other one. Get it set up there. Find the spot that we like. And start screwing it in. I see that little end right there sticking out? That's what I was talking about earlier about how you want to keep it down below the board. If you wanted, you could run a 2x4 on the inside here, and that would give it a little bit more support. And, but for me, I don't like doing that because, like I said before, I don't want to get those chemicals into the food that we're growing. Now we got one side up and started, and stand up this other side. It doesn't really matter how far in or how far out you're going to go. As long as you got enough for the metal to get a good bite on here. So you can see, I like to kind of split the difference on the 4x4. Bring it up there a little bit. There we go. Now rinse and repeat on the other side, and you've got yourself a 4 foot by 8 foot raised garden bed. I'll go ahead and finish this side up, and we'll get the other side done, and I'll show you the finished product. Trying to do this left-handed and make a fool of myself. Sorry about that, my battery died. I'll get this other side done and then show you what we got. Alright, so I moved it up out of the garage, that way you can get a nice good look at it. This is the final project. Obviously there's a few more things you could do to kind of stabilize it a little bit better. I haven't noticed too much bowing out on these sides, but if you did notice something, you could always come in and run a board across here, or an X-frame or anything like that. Run a 2x4 up here on the inside or along on the outside. Give yourself a little bit more space and stuff to work with. And yeah, so that's what I have been working on today, and I appreciate you all coming out and watching. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this, help anybody else who might need an idea or two on how to build a raised garden bed. I think the total cost for this is, each one of those metal pieces, I think I got them for $8. Each one of the 2x4s are probably 3 or 4, and the 2x6 probably 4 or 5. Posts probably somewhere about there in the same. So it's not expensive, maybe $50–$60, but it's a great setup. Like I was saying, it kind of gives you a little bit more of an opportunity as you're working. You got somewhere to sit, so you can reach in and work around and do all the things that you need to do on the raised garden bed. And set your tools up here. You don't got to worry about getting all that sort of stuff lost, or I don't know about you, but I'm getting older now and my back hurts and the sun's in my eye. I got a rock in my boot, and I can find 1,001 excuses every day to not have to do it. But I'm going to take this out to the garden area, and I'll be making another video here real soon on how I fill these with just some stuff around the property, and a small amount of garden soil and compost that I bought just to get stuff in, because here in Florida that's all just sand. Anyways, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, and share.